Hi, hi. Hi, hi. How's it going, everyone? How's it going, everyone? I hope you all are having a good Monday. I hope you all had a good weekend. Hi, hi. Hi, Tomo. Hi, Akiri. Hi, Fire. How are you all doing? Uh, I'm doing alright. I'm a bit eepy, but I probably should have made tea so that way I could have some caffeine, but I opted not to. So I am eepy. Doing alright, tired out? Yeah. Tired out. Yeah, I feel you. I'm also tired out. Work was okay today. It was fine. My weekend was good. You know, it was a very normal weekend. Um, did a lot of stuff on Saturday. Uh, as far as like tabletops go. So having some root beer. Hell yeah, root beer's tasty. But I DM'd on Saturday morning. And that went well. My players are like gearing up for a dragon attack that will be happening next session. So next session is going to be very exciting. This session was like logistics basically. So I don't know how successful a session it was, but it was fine. It was kind of like necessary for the session to work. But the next one should be exciting given that there's going to be, you know, a large epic battle against an ancient foe that will be killing them all, probably, in some capacity. We'll see how it goes. we'll see how it goes. They have help, so they are well prepared for it. And then, in case you didn't see, Saturday I also announced my hi Groven, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I also announced my like big plan to try and get people to play tabletops. And it's got like more Twitter engagement than I expected. But hopefully we will get some more signups and play some tabletops. It should be fun. But I'm excited. I hope it continues to get views and people see it and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. Do you want a riddle? I'm good, Fire. Thank you, though. Thank you, though. Today we will be... So, plan for the week. Today we're going to be world building. And we're going to actually be world building today. And then tomorrow we'll be continuing Halo 2. I saw... We got to... in Halo, we got to the part where we play as the former general of the Covenant. I think he's called like an Arbiter now or something like that, which is an interesting name. He's like their assassin suicide squad man. And that was a lot of fun. But we got to the section where you find out why he's being sent here, and I am not ready. I'm not mentally prepared for that. Hi, X-Dude. Hi. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for offering your riddle prowess, but I don't think that'll be necessary today. Thank you, though. And then we got more Nier on Thursday. Nier should be interesting. We're probably going to be doing a bunch of content in the game that I didn't see the first go around, so it should be pretty exciting, I think. there's tons and tons of side quests that we just never did in the first route A. So I'm really looking forward to it. But that's the plan for the week. I have a lot of stuff to do for D&D this coming session. I have a bunch of characters that I need to like make abilities for. Like I need to build the characters. There's like 4 or 5 people that I need to like make from the ground up because they have nothing so far. And then I need to figure out how the hell I'm running these dragons. Like I know how I'm doing one, but it might need to be buffed. So that way it's not just like one shot by the millions of ballista that they have set up, basically. So that's my plan for the week. Is make characters. It's make characters. I have to make characters. I'm looking forward to it, but it's gonna be plenty of work for sure. Because it all needs to be done by Saturday. What about you? Do you guys have any good weekend? Did you guys have a good weekend? Did you guys do anything fun this weekend? It was Easter weekend, which meant plenty of bunny girls on Twitter, and I was very happy about that. They're so pretty. Bunny girl outfits are cute. They're very cute. I wanted to talk. We need to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit. Because there is. I can't understand it. I can't wrap my head around what happened. Like, maybe there was a mistranslation or something. But Konami said that they were releasing a short anime series about different archetypes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? Like, basically, my understanding was that each archetype was going to get, like, an episode dedicated to their story of this anime series dedicated to their story. Right? Well, we got the first one, and it turned out to be a whopping 4 minutes long, which is not an episode. It's not an episode. It's barely a scene. Like, I can't wrap my head around. They're like, we're going to release a short anime series, and it's like, yeah, it turned out to be really, really fucking short. It's literally 4 minutes long. You know what? I might see if I can't play it for you guys. Can I play it for you? Is that legal? I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if I care. It's not like this is gonna be monetized. Like, the video itself didn't even reach ad revenue. It can't be monetized either. Yu Chronicles. Can I find the actual thing? Videos? Is it here? It's not here. All I'm seeing is people re-uploading it. Where is it? Where's the actual one? Is it on this? No. But we're like supposed to get like a new episode every month. It's like, what? 1 month to make a 4-minute thing? There we go. I found it. Can I show you this? How do I... window capture. We'll see if this works. Is this the right size? It's not the right size, but I can do this. Does that help? No, it's still cut off a little bit. Let me do this. We can do this. This. There you go. That's good enough. So, can you guys hear that? There's no audio source for this. Properties? After audio. Okay, what happened to it? Where did it go? There? Okay. Can you guys hear this? There's no audio right now. It's quiet. Oh my god, that's loud. Okay. You can hear it. It's very loud. How's that? Is that good? Is that too loud? Is it too quiet? Okay. So, for those who are unfamiliar with Yu-Gi-Oh lore, the Sky Striker lore is basically it's Mecha Yuri, which normally would be forgivable for anything, but you don't really get enough of it here. The Sky Striker lore is basically like there are these two girls who are on other sides of this war, and they both have they both utilize the same weapons mecha system to fight each other, and Rei, the good girl, the good side, fights against Rose, who's the evil girl side, and Rei convinces Rose to join her side and rebel against the machines that are trying to take over, basically. Arriving to hear Mecha Yuri was not something I thought I would hear. So it's Sky Striker lore. So we were told we were getting an anime, right? This is an episode of the anime that Konami said that they were giving us. This is the full episode that we were getting. This is everything. This is the full episode that we are going to get from Konami about their Yu-Gi-Oh card lore. Also, hi, Maze. I hope you had a good weekend. So this is it. So that's Rose. She's in Zeke, which is the evil robot, and that's Hamp, and that's Rei. She's the good one. See, episode 1, Sky Striker Ace Rei. It's... So this was them fighting. Fire, that is your name, yes. And that's the episode. And that's the episode. That's the full thing. That Konami, billion-dollar company Konami, is like, we're going to give you an anime about the cards, and that's the episode. That's the whole episode. Which is... It's a thing. It's certainly a thing. Like, what we got was okay, right? Like, I enjoyed it, but... So we're building a world for your camp. We will be, Oddfellow, we will be. But this full 4 minutes is all we're we're getting one of these a month. And that's the short anime series. Yes, but the answer is yes, Oddfellow. I'm complaining about Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami not giving a shit about its Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. Like, I appreciate that we got this, like, at all, but it's like, why is... There are people who make fan animations in their basement who put more effort into it than Konami does. It's like, why? Why make this if you're not going to, you know, actually try to sell the thing? We got one scene where Rei cuts through Zeke, and that's it. And it's like, I don't know. I just watched Hollow Myth Bad Ending, and holy... Hollow Myth Bad Ending is so good! It's so good. Like, imagine if this was Hollow Myth Bad Ending quality. And it's just not. Hollow Myth Bad Ending was one person. Konami, a billion-dollar company, Konami, hired multiple studios to put this together. You should know better than to expect anything from Konami. I really should. I really should. It's just like when they promoted it. They made the promotional thing for this series is longer than the episode. Here, you know what? It's right here. It's 6 minutes. It's 6. This is the promotional thing for their thing for this series. It's literally longer than the episode itself. Like, we were, like, you can see here, there's going to be one of Dark Magician, and, like, Blue Eyes and that. Like, it's about the card lore. And, like, that kind of thing. The Mahjong Soul and anime episodes are longer? Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what... Like, here you can see we're gonna get a Blue Eyes one, right? We're gonna get a Charmers one. Yeah, we're getting the cards like lore stories, right? But we just saw the Sky Striker one, and it's like, it's 4 minutes. Here, we're getting an Ice Barrier one. Like, what? Why is this longer than the episodes? I don't get it. Or we're getting a Melfi one. The Melfis are so cute. They're so adorable. I love them. They don't do anything in game, but they're really cute. Look at that. And we're getting Zeus versus Typhon, probably. Yeah, there's Typhon. I wonder if they show the Sky Striker one. And if it's gonna be something that's in the Sky Striker one. Like, this is the promotional video for this series, and we just watched the first episode. We're getting a 6 Sam one. And it's once a month for... I don't know. I don't know if I'm making it clear why I was disappointed with the Sky Striker episode. Because it's like... I wanted actual story and not just like 4 minutes for one scene. I would like an actual episode of an anime. Doesn't Yu-Gi-Oh! Make millions? It does. It does make millions, and yet they're not doing it. They're not doing anything. Live twins? Hell yeah. We're getting an Albaz one. But how are they going to put the entire story of Albaz in 4 minutes? That's what I don't get. I mean, we didn't get the full story of Sky Striker, so we're probably not getting the full story of Albaz either. But I don't know. Oh, they don't even show the Sky Striker one. Like, why is the PV, the promotional video, longer than the episodes? Oh, we're getting a Sulfur one. I forgot about that. I love the Sulfur archetype. It's so cute. It also does nothing, but it's very cute. There you go. Oh, here's the preview for the Sky Striker one. None of this is in the Sky Striker video. There's Rose. And there's Ray. There you go. It's like that literally longer, 2 minutes and what, 14 seconds longer than the actual episode itself, the Sky Striker episode itself. That's why they don't put in like that with 10% more right there. I know, right? Literally, if they included this scene for the Sky Strikers, it would have, how long is this? Starts at, what, 5:30? 5:32, maybe? And ends at, what, 5:50? It's literally like 20 seconds. 20 seconds of content that they just didn't put in to a 4-minute thing. Like, they're not even hitting ad revenue with these episodes. Ad revenue's 8 minutes long. I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around it. It's like a significant amount for a 4-minute. I know, right? Yeah, at least make it 8 minutes so that it's but no, it's literally less than 4. It's 3:59. So I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they doing? We're getting one of these a month. How does it take a month to make this? Like, I get animation takes time and effort. And kudos to the people who made it, right? Like, it's like the actual animation is fine. Like, this, I could see this being in an anime, but it's not an anime itself. There's no story here. If you didn't know that it was about Yuri, like a mecha Yuri thing where they're like friends, you know? At first I thought you were being extra, but I get it now with the expectation and setup they made. Yeah, they've been posting about this for a while, that they were going to release this. Maybe they're setting up for the whole episode. This is the whole episode. This is the first episode. You can see it here. Sky Striker Ace 1, a Sky Striker Ace Ray. This is the episode. This isn't a setup for anything. This is it. So I'm like, I don't know. I can't. I know, but yeah, I can't defend this. Yeah, I can't either. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. I just cannot wrap my head around it. Okay, let's talk about my setting. Let me readjust this so that it makes sense. Got this. We can move this. Something like this. What's going on? Here, you know what? Maybe I should zoom out a little bit. There. Where's the cardboard? I made it digital, so that way I wouldn't have to keep flipping between a webcam and the document. It's all in one document. So I'm making a setting. I'm making a new setting for a friend's tabletop RPG system. The RPG system is called Strike Systems, and I'm making a setting for it. This is what we came up with last time. Highly recommend you check out the first episode of this world building series. Where I made a hand cam stream where I just rolled dice to determine like where the mountains were and where the forests were and that kind of thing. So this is what the dice said that the continent would look like. So now we started coming up with like reasons why it's like this, right? And that's where we got like a very base, you know, description for each thing. You know what? We're gonna insert break, page break. Each of these is gonna be on its own page. we're going to start with this country, though. So there's like 5 countries here. You can see here we've got like this one in the top left. You can see here it's got like this giant desert beach area going out into the ocean. It's got some forest. It's got like the main city here, as well as a large volcano. And here's what we've made so far. We have some very brief description about whatever the like very potential options that we have. Like, why is this desert here? Why is there a desert extending into the ocean? Well, it's probably not desert, it's probably beach, and the water is receding. Okay, so why is the water receding, you know? And we have options here. The large volcano, we've decided is going to be like a pillar to the god Dumazid, who is the god of creation and creativity. Let me read you. Where is... Did I close it? No, I did not. Here's a description of Dumazid. As a forge radiates heat around it, Dumazid's influence provides inspiration to mortals. He makes exquisitely crafted objects almost constantly, sometimes absent-mindedly working while he holds conversations with the other divines, only to destroy the finished product and begin again. Impulsive and mercurial, the Forge Father is prone to bouts of either joyous productivity or frustrated anger. He often feels constrained by the limits of imagination, yearning to realize ideas that seem just out of reach. Though Dumazid is largely interested in physical craft, he has influence over all forms of creation. While inspiring new ideas, Dumazid also oversees the advancement of craft that brings these ideas to life in the world. His provinces are the Forge, Invention, and Creativity, as well as Obsession and Molten Earth. Dumazid is depicted as a muscular giant whose coal-hued skin is decorated with accretions of jagged rock and golden jewelry. When angered or frustrated, he might appear as an enormous beast of lava or blazing fire. Worship. Naturally, Dumazid is strongly associated with the Forge, and nearly every smithy has charms and idols hanging from the walls to Dumazid. Regardless of their professions, worshippers of Dumazid often toss a metal coin into fires in the god's honor, letting the metal soften and splay over the coals. The Forge Father's Holy Day Tempertide is observed as a day where no one works, but villages get together to rest and relax. And his symbol is volcano, hence why the city that's built at the steps of volcano is like largely involved in his worship, right? So this city is the city of craft and creation. Like, we know that it's a pseudo meritocracy where the people in charge are the people who are like the most skilled smiths of the city. And each year, or maybe as a coming of age, people toss their best things, their best creations inside as an offering for like continued inspiration from Dumazid. So each year they make like a magnum opus, or maybe as like a coming of age thing, they make this like great work of art, or a great, either a work of art or a great creation. Maybe it's like their most well-forged piece of metal or equipment, and they just toss it they make a pilgrimage up to the volcano, and they toss their greatest creation into the volcano as like a source of, as like an offering for increased creativity. So there is a forest here. Maybe they're like doing deforestation. Maybe the city is like steampunk-esque because it's like a forge god. It's like built in metal. Maybe. That's all we know about this place. Let's figure this out. That's what we're doing today. Is we're figuring out what's going on here. We will do another stream for each of these other places, but really I want to pick one and dig into it. Let me take a break. Right, I'm trying to really hone in on what each of these places is going to be about, and like flesh out details on why it is the way it is. Maybe they should be its own. You know what? Let me see if we can do this. Break. Can I make this one-page format? Page orientation. Selected content landscape. Can I do this? Yeah, and then we'll just make this big. There. Okay. That fucked with how zoomed in this is. Let me do this. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Control Z. This. Yeah. That, maybe. Sure. When you do settings like this, you usually co-create more of the detail of the city with a player that lives there, or not? Sometimes. It depends. How do I put this? It definitely depends. Because I don't have any... I don't have a campaign yet. I don't have, like, I don't have players right now. I guess is the long and the short of it. So maybe. The answer is maybe. If a player... There's definitely going to be details missing, right? And if a player... I might just be like, hey, what is, the food like in this place? And I might ask the player that if they're from there. I'll be like, what do you think the food is like from there? And then that will be how the food is. So the answer is it depends, I guess. Because I don't have any players in this setting yet, the answer is no. The answer can't be yes, but in general, the answer is sometimes yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, where do we want to start? We could start with the volcano, we could start with the desert, we could start with the city itself, we could start with the forest. Like, there's plenty of places to discuss here, I think. I should have made tea. I'm so tired. I'm very EP. Wait, why is this all landscape? I thought I picked one to be landscape. What? One second. Oh, it just does everything. You can't, even though it says selected content, you cannot choose one or the other. Okay, whatever. What do should we do names? I'm bad at names. Then again, I don't know anyone who is good at names. Usually freeballing is part of setting creation for when we start playing, so I'm not sure what would need more details. Well, here's the thing. I would like to... I think what I'm trying to get out of this is a robust enough setting that I can make a campaign in it, right? If I'm like, hey folks, I'm making a campaign, this is the setting, right? What's the campaign to be in the setting? And what is it? Like, I need something more than this to determine A, what the campaign is, B, like the city needs to be called something, like the country needs to be called something. Like, what is the central tension here? Is it gonna be... Is the campaign gonna be about the desert and, like, what's going on with the water? Is it gonna be about, like, the deforestation? Is it gonna be, you know, something to do with... maybe people are struggling, and, you know, maybe the volcano's going to erupt. You know, who knows? But it's gotta be... I just go on name generator usually. I tend to do a bit of digging, I would say, when it comes to names. Like, let's talk about the culture here, right? So, people here. Let's think about this. The people here value creation, but they don't necessarily value what they are creating, right? So they value the act of creation, but they take all their best stuff and throw it into a volcano, right? They don't actually care about what they are making as long as they are making something. What? So what does that mean? That means that, like, what's the consequences of that? That means that, A, there's a lot of waste, right? But not in the sense of, like, refuse and like, trash, but so much as in, like, the place is probably well decorated. The whole city is likely well decorated. Like, if you make this, you know, like, ornate piece of art, and it's not your best work, so it doesn't get tossed in the volcano, what do you do with it? You hang it up, right? There's probably a ton of, like, everyone, like, all the buildings are probably, like, painted. There's probably, you know, lots of murals. All of the buildings are covered in art. That kind of thing. Love a good tradition versus innovation conflict. Like, maybe if the elders are mad, and new scientists, like, people not wanting to offer their god to offer to God their precious stuff. Yeah, for sure. Like, that, you know, potential central tensions. People are becoming less devout valuing what they make and don't want to offer to use it. Right, something like that. Okay, no. Something like that. I think that's fine. I mean, that's definitely a very real potential central tension. Also, I realize you guys cannot see that. Also, it's being cut off. There. About this. Like, I can feel a sneeze coming on. I've been so sneezy all day today. It's so strange. I've never been a slime with many seasonal allergies. My allergies have been all over the place throughout my entire life. For a long time, you know, up until, you know, mid-teenagers, like mid-teenager years, I was not allergic to hardly anything. I've always been allergic to nickel. Fun fact. So jean buttons, they're made of nickel. So, the backside of the jean button, I have to cover with like tape, or else it'll like cause a rash where the jeans are sitting. Really? Yeah. It's super strange. So I've always been allergic to nickel in that sense. So jeans, I never heard of them. I mean, yeah, it's just one of those random things. And then when I was a teenager, I somehow became allergic to dogs. You know, it started maybe like junior or senior year of high school. I like very suddenly became allergic to dogs. And my mom got a dog, and it was like I was constantly like struggling to see. Like my eyes would water, and they would like develop these like filaments in them, and they would be like super itchy and hurt. And I would just basically have to be on, you know, antihistamines like 24/7 just to be at home. But I went to college, and so I didn't have to deal with that a ton. And throughout college, I was allergic to dogs. Until like last year. Like last year, Ruby was staying with us, and I suddenly was no longer allergic to her. I was just randomly no longer allergic to dogs. So I like gained a dog allergy and then lost a dog allergy over the course of like 7 years. And then now I'm like suddenly starting to get like seasonal allergies randomly. Like I've never had seasonal allergies before. And now I'm like suddenly getting like, I'm super sneezy today. Because it's like we've had the windows open today because it's nice outside. Some allergies come on and off. I have the same thing with cats. It's so strange to me. I don't understand that. Why? Why is the body like this? Pop a lozenge because I'm gonna be talking a lot. Okay. So Alright, let I think it's likely that the city is, at least in part, partly made of metal. Right? I like the image of that. Which means that there's got to be somewhere where they get the metal. Like maybe there's some like nearby quarries or something, or like caves. I like the idea of it being like super mixed though. Let's not say steampunk-esque. You know what? Let me do this. Alright, we're gonna break this down. I'm gonna organize this a bit more. I don't know just how you spell that word. I guess it is. We use a lot of mineral. Maybe maybe it fits the tradition. It does it for sure. How do I describe this? What's the word for like how a city looks? Appearance, maybe? Or of stone, wood, metal. Here, let's lots of murals on walls, carvings in walls. We can do comments actually. Let's do that. Murals on walls, carving on walls, and decorations welded to walls. All the buildings are covered in art. Instead of giving a funeral for the body, they instead the resources they give out to the next of kin are reused in the name. I like that. Hi Fabian. Hi. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope we had a good weekend. We're building a I copy this instead of deleting. We're building a country here. Why is this? This keeps... Gosh, I just cannot. Maybe I'll just make it smaller. Do something like that. Maybe I should... You know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that. Control Z, and I'll just zoom out in here. There. There. That's not too small for you guys, right? Are you planning on doing a D&D campaign? It's not for D&D specifically. It's for a tabletop RPG, yes, but it's for a different system than Dungeons & Dragons. It's for a system my friend made called Strike Systems. something that you've definitely never seen before because it's not published yet. So, I'm sure you could definitely run a D&D campaign or Pathfinder campaign in this setting easily. It would just be very, like, the rules are going to be different. We haven't talked about, like, race culture yet. You had my interest, now you have my full attention. Yeah. There is a lot of, first off, the system is very good. It's very robust. It's well made. I say this as someone who has played the system over the last, decade plus since he started making it. I've played through basically every iteration of this game since its conception. So I can personally attest to how good the game is because I've played through it all. And hopefully eventually I will be able to showcase it on this channel. But I'm not quite there yet, and that's why I want to make this setting, is so that way I have somewhere to run this system. My friend has his own setting, but since we've played in it so much, it's almost like too developed, is how I would say. Like, it's so well developed, it has its own history and lore, that it's tough to write a campaign that doesn't, step on the toes of previous characters or be a part of an already established history. Like, it's tough to make something in his setting because it's already been made. So I'm making my own setting. It resembles Spain. It kind of does resemble Spain. Like, this is where Portugal would be, right? It does kind of resemble Spain. It's very funny. So we're making our own. I like the idea that you had, Wiz, of the reuse of materials left behind as inheritance is important. There you go. And I like the idea that reuse in general is very important. I was thinking, like, instead of bringing the body back home, like, they bring the armor and sword back of a fallen soldier. Instead of bringing the body back home? Oh, you mean, like, they don't even care about the body itself? They care, like, they're just like, the body doesn't matter. The stuff that they made and wore and used is what matters. That's an interesting thought, for sure. I don't know that I would want it to be that extreme, but it could be. It definitely could be. The Shaw already left this plane, yeah. I'm thinking though, like, if this is like the concept I kind of want to go with, I kind of like the idea. I don't know how, like, it was 100% super materialist ideology. Yeah. Let me look at. So I'm gonna pull something up on my own screen, like, that is unreleased content of the game. Oh, that's my dad. You can't see that. It's fine. There was nothing there. I know there was nothing there. I don't get emails from people. Yeah, I was on the wrong. Well, it's like VGen emails. You know what I'm saying? It's like for art that I've commissioned. Like, I know that there's nothing there because you've seen all the art I've commissioned. Is there anything that you've seen that I've commissioned that you haven't seen? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you guys have seen literally everything I've commissioned. No, I commissioned something recently, but that was via Twitter. So it wouldn't have... It's not VGen. Like, you wouldn't have seen it in the emails. You saw Knife Not Safe for Work? Yeah, for real. Yep, totally. I'm getting Not Safe for Work emails from people. For sure. As if. Okay. I need to go to this. I'm gonna look up... So I'm gonna look up the new vocation list. So the classes in this game are called vocations, because they are a part of yourself, right? They're literally your calling. They're not a class per se, right? You don't learn your vocation. Your vocation in this game is like a part of your soul, right? It's like part of your personality. You will never get a vocation, like, you'll never become, like, if you're a player character in this game, you're basically like a superhero. Imagine you're like a mutant in the X-Men or something like that. Like, you're a superhero, basically. And you spark, you ignite you get your vocation based on your personality and, like, who you are at your core, right? It's like, then you can't change class, right? So, you can, and that happens if your character's, like, personality changes. You cannot multi-class. There is no multi-classing in this game. I believe. I would have to double-check the rules, but I think he took out multi-classing. Because it doesn't make sense for the world, right? Like, if you are at your core, you know, this thing, like, if you're, like, we're gonna use D&D classes, for example. If you're a sneaky, like, you're, like, at your core a sneaky, you know, dex-based, like, if you built your character to be a rogue, right, you're never going to, in this game, you would never spark as, like, a barbarian, right? You would always spark as a rogue, because it's part of your character's being, right? It's, like, part of your character, it's part of who you are. And you would never take, quote-unquote, take levels in barbarian, right? It just wouldn't make sense. Because it's not who you are. It's not who your character is. Now, if your character was like, I'm a sneaky person, I'm a rogue, right? And they originally spark as a rogue, and then afterwards, they, you know, rounds their sneaky ways and started beating people in the face with a giant axe, then yeah, maybe their character would, you know, shift, their class, you know, their vocation would shift to a barbarian. But they would never multi-class. Right? Your entire class would change. Character development actually happens. Yeah, that's, like, the whole goal of this game, is to, like... It's not a game built around the numbers. It's a game built around the characters. Right? You're never going to... Like, you can optimize picking a race and a vocation and stuff like that, but you're never going to, like, pick and choose these abilities to, like... to, like, build the perfect class, so to speak, right? You're never going to, like, you're never going to hand-pick, like, I want this feature at level this, so I'm gonna do that. No min-maxing. You kinda can't. Because the game doesn't allow... Like, you can min-max in certain regards, and it's very obvious when you do, right? Like, when you build your stats in the game, like, in this game, you don't, like, you put your stats wherever you want. So, obviously, like, if you want to, like, you always want to facilitate how your character plays, so that way it leans into your vocation, right? And, like, that's, quote-unquote, how you min-max in this game. Is, like, if you're a dex-based character, you want to put your stat points into dex, so that you're doing dex things more, which feeds into your vocation, building off of dex, for example, right? So, like, the game encourages you to build your character and be more powerful. Like, you will be more powerful the more you play your character the way their personality is, if that makes sense. Right? If you pick a class that is like a vocationalist, right? Like someone who's like like an orator, right? And then you don't put any of your stats, like you put all of your stats into strength, your character's gonna suck. Right? You can do it, but it does, like, the game rewards you for building your character in such a way that helps your vocation, which helps facilitate the kind of character you want to make and play as. It could be very fun. It could be very funny. It could be very funny, and you could do that, and that would be very funny. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. It's just, like, that's kind of like the mentality that this game provides. Is like one of, like, in D&D, you're always rewarded for being, you know, a strong character when you have, you know, Constitution is always a good stat, Dex is always a good stat because Dex feeds into AC, right? Constitution is always a good stat because it feeds into HP, and that kind of thing. But you're never, like, you always have, like, charisma. Unless you're being the face of the party, you don't care about charisma. And so, like, the game, I don't know how else to put it, like, the game, like, if you're not so much an actor, that's okay, you don't need to be. You, like, there's a difference between role-playing and acting, right? Role-playing, to me, when I discuss role-playing, I am talking about making decisions that your character would make. You do not have to act to make decisions your character would make. If your character is one who values money, then if you would be like a good role player if your character is constantly, like, you know, acting in such a way that facilitates them making money, right? Like, that's good role playing. You don't have to be like, I want money, like, vocally, right? You don't have to act that way. You just have to make decisions that you think your character would make, even if they're not decisions that you as a player would necessarily agree with, right? Like, I, Nori, am not super money motivated, so if I played a character who was super greedy, it would be, like, it would be challenging for me, but it wouldn't be, but I think I could do that, right? And I think that would be good role-playing if I played a greedy character greedily, instead of, you know, doing things out of the goodness of my heart. That makes sense. You can be a good role player and not a good actor, and you can be a good actor and not a good role player. I think is the point I'm trying to make. Anyways, I was looking up vocations. We got on this conversation because I was looking up vocations. Some people don't like or allow describing or third-person RP, but I don't think I've ever met a person who doesn't allow third-person RP or describing what they do. That seems like it would not be fun for everyone, and the goal is to have fun with people? Like, I don't know how else to say it. There are times where, like, my players will be like, when I discuss things with them, I might say something in character and be like, I don't know, like, I want my men on this wall, right? And the player might say, well, I don't want your men on that wall. And I'll be like, okay, but how do you convince them of that? Right? You don't literally have to say what you're saying, but I do need to understand how you're trying to convince them that you want that thing, right? That's okay. You can be like, I appeal to their, I appeal to the fact that people on that wall might die, right? And I'm trying to protect the lives of their men. You could say something like that, right? You don't have to necessarily say, "But sir, your men will die if they go on that wall." It'll be the front line of defense. Something like that, right? Like, there's a difference between those two things, and they both accomplish the same thing. And I've never met someone who forces someone to act in that way, because it's definitely not for everyone. And if you do, that player's not going to have as much fun. And the goal of the game is for everyone to have as much fun as possible. Right? Okay. Let me look here. So, one of the things that I like about this game is that not all the classes are combat oriented. There are combat oriented classes, but there's an entire vocation called... Let me just find it. This document is fucking massive, so I'm sorry if I'm going to be doing a lot of scrolling. It's not champions. It's not the druids. Messenger. There's an entire vocation called Messenger. So each vocation has 5 specializations. They're like subclasses, so to speak. And each of the big overarching vocations, right? There's, I don't know, 10 of them, maybe 12 of them. There's like 60 subclasses or something. This game is fucking massive. But there's an entire one. There's 5 subclasses that are called Messenger. And Messenger has like very, very few combat abilities. They're like, all of their stuff is about like politics and speaking. Like, here's like, this one's called Horn of Yore, right? It's an entire class, an entire specialization about, being a skald, basically. Like, you're like a hunting horn player, right? You buff your allies by playing songs in combat, and you're literally a hunting horn player. That you're like Scandinavian. There's an entire one called the Counselor of Grey, which is like, your traditional like evangelist type character, but also someone who like is they're scouts. I don't know how else to put it. They're like, they run errands, right? They can summon a horse to take them places. Like, it's crazy. This shit is wild. There's the Herald of the Sun. That's probably like what you might consider your traditional bard, where they're like all about being attractive and seducing things. Like, they're like the star of the show, as a messenger. There's the Traveler of the Crown, which is like a herald, right? Like, literally a herald that like, announces their king. There's a whole class about it. That's what I love about this, is that like, if you were to play an entire campaign where everyone was a messenger, and you went into combat, you would get TPK'd against like wolves. But if you're in a city, right? If you're in a city and you're playing like politics, you would be like gods, right? You would be insanely good at it. Like, that's how this game is designed. Is if you play to your character's strengths and your vocation's strengths, you'll be incredible. But if you set yourself up for failure and try to get into, like, you could run an entire campaign where there's no combat. There's literally no combat. You're all messengers, you all stay inside, and you talk politics with people, and that's the campaign, right? To some people that sounds really boring, but to some people that sounds awesome. It's like super intriguing, right? There's a lot of intrigue, You're cutting like back alley deals, more like vampire. Yeah, exactly. You're talking Masquerade, right? Yeah. So like the game lets you do whatever, and there are entire classes that are like, we're talking like the Behemoth, for example. There's a vocation called the Behemoth. It's one of my favorites. It's very near and dear to my heart. The Behemoth is exactly what it says. It's a giant fucking dude or woman or whoever who cannot be moved. They are a mountain, right? They are a behemoth. They're large. They hit like a truck, and they have a lot of HP. And they don't need to talk. They don't need to do anything. They just hit you in the face and you die. That's a behemoth, right? And I love playing a behemoth. It's very fun. There's a captain, right? A captain's a vocation where you're giving orders. You're giving like tactical orders to your party. And if your party, like, you can like give extra movement actions and things like that. So the game has it all in, like, you can, if you build to your strengths, and if you play in the way that like facilitates it, like if you have a party that has a behemoth, a captain, what's the other one that I'm thinking of? They're not called assassins in this version of the game. I think. Maybe they got changed back to being called assassins. Oh, they're called rogues now. Okay. If you're a rogue, right? They used to be called assassins because there's literally a specialization called an executioner that's literally about assassinating people, you know? Right? Like, if you go in this style, you can play a game where it's like, everyone has all these crazy combat abilities, and if you go into any combat, you'll probably, like, it'll be a breeze. But if you try to talk politics, like, you're gonna struggle, right? If you're trying to convince someone that, like, you know, the wolves are coming to murder your king, you might struggle to do so because, like, your job is on the battlefield. Your entire vocation, your entire, like, character's soul lies on the battlefield. They don't involve, talking shop with senators. And there's, like, you can mix and, like, you can't mix and match, but there are plenty of, specializations that, like, split the middle ground of some of these things, right? So it's not like you're locked into one thing. I mean, you are, but you're not, like you don't, like, you can do things with your class, your vocation that are not that are, there are vocations that are a bit, how should I say, they cover more bases, but they aren't as good at any of those things, right? Something that's does good at buffing allies and hitting very hard doesn't hit as hard as a behemoth, or doesn't buff allies as much as a messenger or a captain, for example. Is it difficult being a DM in that system? No, I don't think so. One of the things that I think helps is that characters have less abilities than they do in D&D. Like, you get 12 level, like, there's 12 levels in the level system, and most of those levels, you get one thing, and that's it. So, like, at level 1, you might have, like, 1 or 2 abilities, and that's it. It's very easy. It's very easy for players to understand, and it's very easy for DMs to understand because you don't have to keep track of all your players' abilities or anything like that. It also helps that NPCs function on the same level system as player characters. Like, if you were to make a level, a level 6 villain, you would make a level 6 villain, and you would just build that character as if you were a player. And it's balanced that way. So, in D&D, if you were to make a villain who's the same level as your players, that villain would get eviscerated. But if you were to make a villain in this game who's as competent as your players, like, maybe you go one level up, and it's very even. The game is really, really well balanced. And if you're making a party of wolves, let's say your party has 4 players, you make a party with 4 wolves that are the same level as those players, and it's a super balanced fight. It's super easy, I think, to DM this game. But I wanted to look at this thing. So sorcerers are like scientists, in a way. Relic mages, they do like earth stuff and like history. Eloquence mages. Essence mages. Here we go. This is a great example of a vocation. There's the Vanguard, right? The Vanguard is like a fighter. Imagine a fighter. You have the Eidolon, which is literally just like a fighter, right? Your existence is that you hit things with your sword, you're a soldier, and that kind of thing. And then another Vanguard is the Knight Enchanter, right? You're still a Vanguard, right? You're still a sword character, but you have a little bit of magic in your thing. You don't just hit things with your sword, and you're not very good at hitting things with your sword. You also sometimes cast spells and hit things with your sword, right? And then you have a Preserver, which is a sword and board, thing. And then you have a Bloodhound Bruiser, which is like a fisticuffs, thing. You don't hit things with your sword, you hit things with your fist. Right? So the Vanguard, it's like very well defined, right? You have your clear identity, and then there's different things that you do within that identity. And it's very simple to understand, and that's the thing. What is a warden? There's some new ones here. I would love to show this off, but I don't have permission from my friend to just show you guys everything, because it's not necessarily set in stone. There is a Witchblade specialization that's like a Witcher, basically. Like you harvest monster parts and ingest them to give yourself different powers, like a Witcher indigests mutagens. It's neat. There's a lot of really cool stuff in this game, which is why I want to run it. Which is why I need to build this thing. What was I looking for? I don't even know where I was going with this. What was I looking for originally? Why was I looking at the vocations? Did I say? I hope I said something, because I have no idea. We got sidetracked in a way, and now I just do not remember where I was. What was I doing? What were we talking about? In appearance? The vocation... There was a vocation that was specifically just about crafting things. It is no longer in the game. I played that archetype, and it didn't really work out. Which is why it got cut. You can still craft things in this game, but there isn't a vocation about it because it's not conducive to play, if that makes sense. There is crafting in this game, and you can definitely do it, and it's really fun. I played the class that was about crafting, but having to keep track of like boards of wood and stuff, it's definitely not for everyone. Like, how many boards of wood do you have? How many, that kind of thing. It's definitely not for everyone. It is for me. I had a lot of fun with it. But it's not. It's definitely a lot more difficult for both DM and player. Which it's still like the capacity for it is in the game, but there isn't an entire vocation for it. It's like I said, it's just not conducive to regular play. I think if they wanted to do that, they would want to be a Runewright, I think is what it's called. Is Runewright still in the game? I assume Runewright's still in the game. Runewright's a classic. Rune Priest is in the game. Runewright is still in the game. Hell yeah, let me read Runewright. What is Runewright? What is it in this game? A scholar. Look at that. There's a whole vocation called scholar, right? A scholar is not a fighter. It's not a, it's not a wizard. It's not a, it's crazy. You're not. Look at this. Let me read the scholars. There's the savant, which gets like the ability to learn things faster. You can use a skill to increase your logic score. Right? You can learn some things of other classes, of other vocations. You get increased craft scores, right? You can craft different things. That's what a savant does. And then there's a plague doctor class. This is literally about like crafting medicine and things like that. Right? Like scholar it's nothing to do with combat. Lore keeper. You learn extra languages. Like, this shit is crazy, dog. You can learn about, like, different creatures and things like that, and get, like, their weaknesses and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's super cool. Huge fan of this style of game. So, Runewrights, I think just like the scholar vocation is going to be here. Scholar is a vocation, is highly prized. There. Look at this. Runewrights, savants. Yeah, I mean, it's just like the scholar. Let me look at the messenger one. I think Caravan Master is still in the game. There's literally an entire specialization about being a caravan master. Like, you run a business. You run a caravan business, and, like, one of the abilities of this thing is that, like, if you spend 8 hours in a place, you can hire a local to be a bodyguard for you. And you, like, slowly, as you travel around with your caravan, you, like, slowly recruit an army. Like, what the fuck is that shit? In the second campaign that we ever ran, one of my friends was a caravan master. And he had, like, 10 guys following us around, you know, serving him whenever he wanted, and, like, he would delegate them and stuff like that. Is there a summoner class? I don't think so. That might have changed. Because I haven't looked over all of the vocations. What is Caravan Master in, though? What vocation is this? It's a captain? That makes sense. Let me see if there's a summon. Summon. There is an ability that lets you summon. It's the Infernal Envoy. It's like you summon a demon from this equivalent of the Hells. Call forth a Draconic Spirit as a Sage of Dragons. I don't think there's one that's dedicated to summoning. There are abilities that let you summon things, but I don't think there's one that's, like, just a summoner. Yeah, there's not. From the look of it. I think there is one that gives you a pet. Maybe? Companion? Vtuber companion? Maybe that didn't make it into the final version of this game. Maybe it did. Ancient Companion, no. It's about summoning a spirit of the dead. Let me check animal. It's Animal Instinct. Animal Emissary. Doesn't look like it. I'm surprised there's not like a beast tamer or something. Maybe it just didn't work out with the balancing. I'd have to ask. What's this? Let me check the wardens. It would be in the wardens. Sure. Warden. There's the Highland Harrier. It's all about hunting. There's the Witchblade. Iron Sparrow, which I think is more about archery. As opposed to tracking. The Deep Ranger. Fuck's a Deep Ranger? Deep Ranger's all about living in the wilderness, it looks like. And the Winter Walker. Doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it, no. There are definitely abilities that let you summon, but they're like... Here, let me look at summons again. So... Wait, what is going on? Mine is... here. So there's a level 7 ability, which is really late. Like, level 7 is late. late game that lets you summon a demon from the abysses. There's a level 6 ability. So at level 6, so there's 12 levels in the game. Level 6 and level 12 are like your ultimate abilities, right? If you hit level 6, level 6 is a power spike for every class. When you hit level 6, you get like an ultimate ability that's like your thing. One of them, what is this? The Sage of Dragons. Their level 6 ability is that they like summon a dragon. This is not a summon. So there's the messenger that I was telling you about earlier, the Counselor of Grey that lets you summon a horse. Like, it literally lets you summon a steed. It's a level 5 ability. I don't know what this means. What the fuck is this? What is it? The Savant. The Savant level 11 ability. Gain the ability to summon a Polis of Mirth. Target a 60-foot cube. The area is filled with laughter. Oh, it's like a zone. Okay, that's not an actual summon. Look at this. The level 12 ability, you guys gotta understand. The level 12 abilities, if you hit level 12 is like one step below Divinity in this game. In level 13, right, in theory, you could hit level 13. Level 13 is you gain divine powers, right? All the classes that are level 12 here they're insane. They're actually insane. Like I said, they're like a second ult once you're like close to divinity. Listen to this. This is the Savant, right? The Savant that I said that was a scholar is a non-combat class. Level 12 ability. Once per day, you can tell the GM to treat the result of a d20 roll they just made as any number they wish. That's the ability. You go once per day, you can just be like, I roll a d20? I don't like that number. I want this number instead. Crazy shit. They're insane. The level 12 abilities are very funny. They're all insane. Okay. But we were talking about... Hi, Kurama! Hi. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good day. I hope you had a good weekend. We're talking... I have not done a lot of world building this stream, actually. I've been talking about the vocations all stream. And how cool they are. I've been talking about how cool the vocations are. I just read the level 12 Savant ability. That shit is crazy, dog. What the fuck? The level 12 abilities are always insane, though. Vocations are all finalized and it feels good? Hell yeah. Am I allowed to show them? For the record, folks, Kurama's the person who made this game. Am I allowed to show them on stream? Or not yet? Because they're not, like, published works. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to show anything that you haven't signed off on. What's the name? The name of the system? It's Shrike Systems. Yes, just wait. I want presentation to be perfect. Okay. So I won't show anything then. I won't show anything then. Like visual? Yeah, I know you are. I won't pull I have the list that you sent me pulled up, and I'm like reading through it. I was looking at. So we were talking about this 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 country up here that like worships Doomsday with this like volcano. I was like, what vocations are valued here? And I was thinking like scholar is highly prized because like savant lets you learn things and craft things, right? Rune rights is like all about crafting as well. What was the other one that I was looking at? The one just underneath savant. The plague doctor, I imagine they like value knowledge and medicine, right? Like if reusing is like very highly coveted here, I imagine that reusing parts of the body even is covered. I don't know if plague doctors can fucking reuse parts of the body, but I imagine that like that kind of thing is very well valued in this kind of society. Let me read through the plague doctor really quick. Sort of medicine, getting total expertise. Carry leeches on you. Medication. Plague doctors are. Do they still have the cautious paranoia? Here you go. Yeah, okay. Cautious paranoia is the same. Love that ability so much. It's like, you make an intimidation roll every time you're in public society because you're scary. Like you're literally in like plague doctor's outfit. If you fail, you integrate into society normally, and if you succeed, people have like a negative opinion of you because they're like afraid that you just like carry leeches on you. It's so cool. I love it. I really want to play an Ancient Berserker. I think they are the Behemoth class that has like the instincts. That shit is gorgeous. I love it so much. Okay. What was I doing? Scholars are highly valued. Reuse in general is very used. I imagine this place is covered in art. I mean, they're, they all worship Doomazid. I think that makes sense. I like this. I think we have a good idea of what this city looks like, right? There's a lot of, all the buildings are like made of different materials. They're either they're carved in stone. There's a lot of carvings in them. They're painted, covered in murals, that kind of thing. I think that makes sense for a place that is worshipping Doomazid. Each year, I think I'm gonna make this yearly. I think I like the concept that each year there's a yearly pilgrimage. Here, we'll do. You know what? We'll do this. Yearly pilgrimage on one's birthday to go to the volcano to toss your most prized creation. Inside as an offering for continued inspiration. So each year, on your birthday, you make a pilgrimage up the volcano, and you take your most prized creation. Whether it's a work of art or this super well crafted, breastplate or whatever. And instead of it being used, you throw it in the volcano as like an offering, so that way you're continually inspired to create more. I think that's good. I think I have a good concept for this place. A reminder that nothing is eternal. Exactly. So let's talk about the area. Right, so this is what it looks like. This is the city set at the base of the volcano. I like the concept of creation versus nature, right? Like I mentioned earlier that I had an entire character that was built around like the concept of like crafting. And that character's goal was to like invent roads in a country that didn't have them on purpose. And because of that, my character got into a huge debate, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's the right terminology I would use. With a god. The goddess' name is Erin. She's the goddess of like wild nature, basically. And obviously, if you're wanting to craft roads, you're wanting to like cut down forests for roads. Obviously, that's gonna piss her off, right? She's the like untamed wild nature. Yeah, we got into it. It was very funny. It was very fun. I had a lot of fun with that character. So let me take a look at Erin. Because Doomazid and Erin are not necessarily opposing, right? They're both aligned in the chaotic spectrum. They're not like Doomazid did not necessarily profess order, in case you couldn't tell. Right? The city itself is all sorts of different things, you know, it's not gonna be like the streets are all gonna be winding, you know, they're not gonna be in rigid columns and things like that. Here, you know what? I'm gonna add that. Because even the city's like layout and design should be beautiful and well crafted. So Erin and Doomazid are not necessarily opposed. Let me pull up the description of Erin real quick. Erin, the lioness. Erin is the wild, passionate goddess of the hunt and the daughter of Lottie of Bale. She claims dominion over the wilderness, particularly hunger and predation, metamorphosis and rebirth, and victory in its glory. Erin is among the most intense of divines and can be spotted running with packs of predators in the wilds. She also savors solitude, and on the hunt, she is deadly serious, almost animalistic in her mood. She's quick to anger and acting swift revenge on those who harm her natural realm. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Lioness is the best archer in existence, and contests of archery or any physical competition are often held in her name. Erin's association with metamorphosis makes her the target of prayers of those who seek to dramatically change their own nature of their identity. I had another character who worshipped Erin. So playing a character that worshipped Erin, and oh, you guys, why can't you guys see it? Is it because I minimized this thing? It is because I minimized that thing. Interesting. OBS things. So that would be the one opposing the volcano down? Not necessarily, right? So what I'm trying to think is, I like the idea that these people who are all about crafting, it's not necessarily that they oppose Erin, right? It's just that they don't care about wilderness, right? They don't care, like, if they can use the wood to create something, they will. And so they're like logging, because there's like a very, very large forest that borders this area, right? And what I'm imagining is that they're cutting down trees because they want the trees for resources. And that is, I mean, a 14 charcoal. Exactly. And that's what's causing the beef with, like, nature. Right? But the fact that this is landscape, and I wanted just this page to be landscape. So frustrating. Let me try and do this. Not work. No, this is still portrait. Okay, whatever. You know what? Fuck it. That's fine. There. Whatever. We'll just have all this blank space here. So I like the concept that there is a slight civilization versus nature war here. I think this is going to be secondary, though, to whatever central tensions arise in the area. Like, I think this is going to be, like, the backdrop of this. How do I even write this down? I think how you said it best is... the value creating or then preserving wilderness. Forest creatures more likely to attack civilians, especially those who are looking for resources to craft with. Alright, just something like this. This is like the backdrop of like this whole central area is going to be dangerous anyways. Could be a peace treaty for now, like in exchange for replanting the forest. There would not be a peace treaty, I guess is the way I would say that. I mean, how do you make a peace treaty with a pack of wolves, right? When I say, like, I'm talking about, like, forest creatures as in, like, animals, bears, wolves, that kind of thing. Like, it's all about, like, actual wilderness, not, like, there's no, you know, they don't need tools, right? They hunt each other. Seeing your track records on Nier, I wouldn't think a peace treaty would hold. Well, shut up. I did not. That was certainly a quest line of all time. God, the Nier wolves thing. At least the men with the mask live. They're bros. They're bros. Sucks for the wolves. But that's kind of like an example of what would happen if this escalates, right? Like, the wolves would commit regicide, right? Like, that's an example. If this escalates, that's what would happen, right? Let's talk about this desert. We need to figure this out. I had an idea for this, I think is what I wanted to go with. Like, nature is rejecting the people, but I think I want to keep that, like, that's probably more likely to do with the forest than it is with the ocean. So for those who do not know, we have this thing here. There's a whole peninsula of, like, receding ocean. Like, why is there a desert here? So, one of the things that I think might be the case is, I think I want to make this beach. Could be where our previous forest was. I mean, I guess it could be. But I think what I want to do is make, in case you do not know, creatively borrowing is, an important, concept for any DM. Being able to utilize things that you liked from other creators in your own setting or campaigns is an important tool for everyone to... Anyways, I'm stealing a concept from my friend here. I think I want to make this a beach with, like, a coral forest. Like, there is no... Like, it's, like, empty beach with, like, coral forest. And I think I want to make the wildlife, like, things like sirens, if that makes sense. Like, it's hella dangerous. Here, I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. This. Sure. Then we can do this. Format. Edit. Insert. No idea how to do this. Text. Yeah. Like this. So, what I'm thinking is, here, let me read the lurker. Although, I'm probably going to end up changing the lurker to suit my own needs here. But the lurker is a lesser idol. Not quite a god, but very powerful. So this lurker was created by the Lich King and terrorized the seas for millennia. The indigenous creatures of this place took Ukarn as their guide and god to rule the waters and bring prosperity. As the lurker was continually elevated, Promenade took note and punished its insolence, sealing away in the bedrock beneath Blackwater Sea. Ukarn reaches out to nautical warriors and shipwrecked sailors, lending his power to those who rule the sea as he once did, beckoning them to free him from his suboceanic ocean. Ukarn takes the form of a colossal kraken. His shelled body is covered with tentacles and spines, the face of 6 fire opal eyes. So I think I'm going to change my... I think I want my lurker to be slightly different from this. Never can have too much lurker. True, very true. I think I'm going to make my lurker a little bit different from this. As like a temptation, almost. In much the same way and associated with water, but slightly different here, where it's like the lurker is trying to absorb like the power of the ocean itself, and has created this like coral forest, and it now lures people in to like try and solve its problems, and in so doing is like, I don't know how, I'm imagining it as like a siren. Like, the lurker itself is like this, like, large siren that, like, calls to people who are, like, want to try and solve this, like, ocean riddle. And, like, seduces them is, like, not the right word because that implies sexual stuff. And it's not that. It's just, like, trying to, like, keep them, like, I don't know, suck the soul out of people. Calls to people to turn them into thralls. Like I'm imagining there's like a giant, like at the heart of this, right? Like there's a coral forest, and at the heart of this coral forest, there's like a temple to the lurker. That these like people who have been like tempt, yes, tempt is correct word. These people who have been like trapped here have been like forced to build this large temple that gives the lurker more power, which then lets her recede more ocean, if that makes sense. So, like, a campaign that would involve this section would be like, I'm imagining it as like a large, like, I don't know, psychological mega dungeon is the way I would describe it. Like a... where, like, players are trying to, like, keep their sanity while they're trying to, like, find the path to, like, defeat the lurker. Or, like, the lurker's, like, largest, you know, their, like, best servants, basically. I think that's, like, the kind of vibe that I am thinking of for here. I don't know if that's a great idea. But this is, like... that's, like, the... Like, I want this... I think I want this to be, like a horror campaign, if that makes sense. Like, if you were to be doing this, like, I think that would be, like, a horror type thing. Okay. I think I have a good understanding of what I want from this, like, location. Like, I think I understand what I want the dynamics to be here in pretty much every way. I just need names. Let's talk about names. I'll show you my method for naming things. If you have watched Matt Colville's Worldbuilding streams, it's gonna go much the same way. Because I like to find inspiration in history. Like, why do people call things the way they do, right? And how do the things get nicknames and stuff like that? So let's look at this. What is a coral forest? Let's start there. What do you, like, a coral reef, right? Be like an exposed coral reef. What is a coral reef? It's an underwater ecosystems carried by reef-building corals. Reefs are formed by colonies and coral polyps held together by calcium carbonate. Most coral reefs are built from stony corals. This cluster goes in groups. Yeah, imagining this on like a large scale, right? A massive human-sized scale. Formation. Here we go. Most coral reefs are formed after yada yada. Most coral reefs are less than 10,000 years old. That's very interesting. Naming things for me involves a lot of learning. This is probably going to be relatively boring for some people, but it's interesting for me to find out why things, like, What is this? A fringing reef. A barrier reef. I see. A platform reef. An atoll. Atolls are made that extends on Lagoon Island, usually formed from fringing reefs or brown. Over time, the island erodes away and sinks below sea level. I think this is closer to what I'm looking for, right? Because we're talking about the island, like this section of land, becoming more and more exposed. It's just like this, but without the water. Let's see what an atoll is. An atoll is a ring-shaped island, including a coral rim that encircles a lagoon. Here you go. The word atoll comes from the... I don't know how to say that. Divehi? Word atollu. Instructions unclear. Have become a marine biologist. True. There's gonna be a lot of that in this stream. As we learn to describe things. So what does this word mean? Is an Indo-Aryan language spoken in the Maldives. The first recorded English use was in 1625 as atollin. Charles Darwin coined the term as he described the indigenous origins of a circular group of corals at Lagoon Island. Okay, this is, I think, where we're going to go with this. What does this mean in this language? Does it have a modern translation? Can I Google translate this language? Like, I'm trying to figure out what this word means in this language. I don't think it's said here, right? Google Translate. I don't think that Divehi is going to be on here, but maybe it is. Oh, it is. Okay. So, what was the word? Oh my god, stop. What just happened? Okay, it does not have a direct translation. Okay. Island environment. These are the atolls themselves. Sorry, I'm gonna be doing a lot of reading here. But I guess that's kind of like the whole point of this stream, is to show you how I work. I'm not finding anything that I like here. Like, I would have loved to understand where this word comes from. Like, this word. Like, what does this word mean in this language? And why is it used to describe this type of coral formation? But I'm not finding it. So let's go back. We're chilling, don't worry about it. Yeah, I kind of figure. What does the word reef mean? Let's just start there. What does the word reef mean? mean, it is a reef-building coral, but what is a reef? Let's find that. Is etymology in here? Let's look at the coral itself. Let's just Google this. This is a reef. That apparently it's a shoe. It's a type of shoe. There we go. A reef is a ridge of shoulder rock, coral, or similarly settled building. Most reefs are results of natural abiotic processes such as sand deposition. So you can have reefs that don't have any coral on them. Artificial reefs such as shipwrecks. It's just anything that houses life. It doesn't necessarily need to be coral. It can just be like rock formations. Interesting. The word reef traces back to Old Norse riff, meaning rib or reef. It means rib. So the word comes from like describing it visually as something that like sticks out like a rib in the ground formation. Right? Like I'm assuming they're talking about this. Right? Like this sticks up like a rib. And that's where the word reef comes from. Go here. Old Norse riff. Reef. Virgin meaning rib. It must be that. But that's not kind of what I really want. Where does the word coral come from? I think that's what I want. Of coral. It's Greek Corellion? Corellion? And it's used to describe the color. Interesting. Meaning like the pinkish red color coral. Oh. That's interesting. So it's really describing the color of the color. So what would you describe a coral forest as? What would you call that? What would people call a coral forest? Especially when you consider that coral is not necessarily living, right? It's just it's potentially rock, and that kind of thing. What does coral look like then? Colonies of small animals emit calcium carbonate shells. I'm thinking so you think about coral, it's made of calcium carbonate. What is calcium carbonate? It's like hard, right? It's like minerals found in rocks, calcium carbonate, and it's chalk, limestone, eggshells, shellfish, and that kind of thing. So I'm thinking here. Let me post my thoughts here. We're gonna start typing it out. So, what is this place called? It's like, here, you know what? We're gonna do this. It's not a desert, it's a coral forest. Now, it's a drained coral forest, so it must be dry, right? It's dried out coral and dried out coral rock. I'm thinking like it's like spines, maybe? You can call it like the spines of the sea. And it's just like colloquial. No one would call it that, so they just call it the spines. Maybe something like that would be the name of the forest. Spines to me like screams mountain range. I think that's fine because you're describing like the actual like texture of the trees, right? They're dried out coral is like sharp. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? You can like poke yourself on it. Because it's got like spines. Like if you look at any of these, it's like made out of what shellfish is made out of. It's not necessarily like hard, it's brittle. Right? If you look at like this, right? It's got all these like tiny ass points to it. That's a horrible picture. Like, look at this. Look at it. Like, if you put your hand up against it, it's pokey, right? Like, that's what I'm imagining here. Right? It's probably like dried out sponge, right? It's rough. It's like sandstone almost. It's not smooth. That kind of thing. So maybe something like this is what we call it. We'll call it the spines. We have another name? Anyone thinking of anything? You saw, if you were an explorer in like I don't even know, the 1600s, and you came across a forest that was called like made out of dried out coral, what would you call it? Right? That's the kind of vibe I'm going for. Discovered it for the first time, what would you call it? I mean, people were very uncreative back in the day. They would just call it the fucking coral forest. I mean, when I was in Canada last fall, we went and found this place called Emerald Lake, and because the water was greenish, like the original person called it Emerald Lake, and he found a different place that he also called Emerald Lake. There were two lakes that were like a couple miles apart, and he decided to call them both Emerald Lake. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I don't know. We have a name. We'll just leave it like this for now. If we come up with something better, we can. What do you call a volcano? What are volcano names? Famous volcanoes. And why? Where did they get their names? Krakatoa. Vesuvius? Vesuvius is cool. Where did Vesuvius get its name from? Right, it's probably from like a god or something. Mount something? For sure, for sure. Mythology. I think, so the vibe I think I want for naming conventions in this area is like Roman, right? Like I'm thinking of like a great, like the, what do you call it? Not the Renaissance, but like pre-Renaissance, like the explosion of like Greek and Roman like culture at its height, right? Like this whole like, you know, a society focused on like craft and creation, to me screams like Roman. Like the Romans and the Greeks were like constantly discovering things. They were constantly like inventing like math proofs and things like that. So like Greco-Roman names are probably, maybe we could like call this something, maybe we change this name to be something more Greek or Roman in naming convention. Where did Vesuvius get its name? Vesuvius was a name of the volcano in frequent use in the authors of like the late Romans. It's collateral blah 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 blah. Writers in Greek used this, which is I think the same pronunciation or similar, have offered an etymology, given the people's varying ethnicity. What language was spoken here? Naples is named Neapolis, new city. Some theories about its origin are not unquenchable, hurling violence, shine, burn, the one who lightens, hearth, Vesta. I kind of like that, the unquenchable hearth. That kind of like is evoking of kind of what we want, right? Where it's like the Forge of Doom is it. It's like it's home. Hearth to me means like home. It means, you know, like a fireplace, basically, a forge. So like the unquenchable forge. So if I wanted to translate this stuff again, Roman is ancient Roman an option? They speak Latin? Not until later, right? What about Greek? Oh my god, what is that? Sifriatisi?
Άσβεστη σφυριλάτιση.
Oh my gosh.
Άσβεστη σφυριλάτιση.
Was that loud? I apologize if that was very loud. Turn this down. Now say it 3 times in a row. There's no shot I can do that.
Άσβεστη σφυριλάτιση.
Asbesti spherisladisti. I don't even know if I got that right.
Άσβεστη σφυριλάτιση.
I'm thinking like Vestifru? No, Vestifru? Vestifru. Right? Taking the middle sections of this. The unquenchable forge. I think I'm gonna take out this S because it doesn't, like, who would call it Vestifril? Sure. Why not? So what is this? If we're going like Greek names, does that spines? No, I want this one.
Άκανθα.
Excuse me?
Άκανθα.
Akantha? What is the word for coral? Oh, that's right. It comes from Greek. Duh. Duh. What about reef?
Ήφαλος.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's sea spines. Like this.
Αγκάθι της θάλασσας.
That's a mouthful. Also, I appreciate that you guys can't see Need to have it is pretty interesting. Thank you. Just realized you guys can't see what's going on here. I hope you have a good rest of your night, Wiz. Have a good one. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for participating. I had a lot of fun. I think Thorns is better. The Thorns. Regardless of what its actual name is, people just call it the Thorns. What do we name the city? Where does the word forge even come from? Huh. God, there's so much. I don't need to learn about how forging works. I need to know the etymology of the word forge. Excuse me. Excuse me. Fabrica? Oh, it's French. Meaning to make or construct. Like Latin, the word fabricate. And French is for, like, forger. That's disappointing. That's very straightforward and more modern than I was hoping. What do they call, like, smithing in Greece? That might actually be on this page. Is there a history? History. Okay, I would like a more detailed history Wikipedia. That's too bad. You can name a city about creating things. Let me go back up here. Or where was I? Back. Look at the history of the word anvil. What does it have? Modern majority of anvils found there based in the mid-19th century. Many references to including Homer's work. Anvils have since lost their former commonness because of mechanized production. That makes sense. What anvil? Where does the word anvil come from? Handfilte, Old English, and a verbal stem meaning beat. On beat. So what the heck did they call it in ancient times? Oh my gosh, this is... I don't know anything about this. What is this? Akmon? Stone. The stone. Akmothoton? Monas? Oh, this is interesting. The anvil, this is like from the bones in the ear. What time is it? It's 9:30. From this to toss brandish. The boy is meowing at me. 1 second. Rengoku has become the bee pet. No, not wanting. I'm not sure what he's wanting. He's like sitting by the door again, like he wants to eat, but he just got here. Maybe he wants me to go to his food bowl, who knows? He's just cleaning himself, okay. It looks like it's always been called something similar to an anvil. Interesting. Word fabricate. Interesting. Okay. He is being... Okay. We'll just leave the door open for him to come and go as he pleases.
Αμμόνι.
I mean, that's a good name. Amoni? Ah, Dak. Hi, Dak. Hi. Thank you for subscribing. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good Monday. Thank you for subscribing. How's it going? How are you? And then we need a last one, a name for the forest. I want something that's like in the spirit of like providing, because they view the forest as like a place for resources, right? This is the Greek word for like providing. To provide.
Προμηθεύω.
What is the difference between this? Oh, this one is the verb?
Εφοδιάζω.
What? What's the difference between these two? Supply, provide, procure. Stock, equip, cater. I'm not sure I understand the difference between these two.
Προμηθεύω.
Oh, it's like the name Prometheus? I see.
Προμηθεύω.
I don't think I want something that on the nose. Resource. Poros?
Πόρος.
No, that's the verb. I'm looking for this one maybe?
Προσόν.
This.
Μέσο.
Meso? Meso's not bad. Meso forest. There you go. So we have mountain names. We've named all the major features of the area. Alright. Is there anything else that I need? So we have the Thorns, Amoni, the city, Mount Vestafril, and the Meso Forest. And we have, I like this, we have some plot and stuff here. Alright. I think that was a success. I think I might call it a bit early today, and I think this was a successful stream. As much as I talked about we got distracted, I think we got to where I want to be here. Right? I don't need to know all the details of this city, or like, oh, you know what? We need a quarry, actually. Let's find out this. Where Amoni gets its rock. It'll probably be like here, situated like here-ish. It'll be like a cave or something. This is a quarry. Where does the word quarry come from? Type of open pit mine in which dimension stone rock is excavated from the ground. It's hand excavated. Look at this. Problem with drainage. Look at that. I mean, it's super neat. Word quarry. Where does the word quarry come from? Okay, it's not any of this. Middle English quarry. A place where stones are squared. Huh.
Λατομείο.
Alright, that works. Latomi mines. Sure. Boom. There you go. We got it. And now we're wrapping up. Now we've done it. We've done everything I wanted to do. We have the... We fleshed out this area. We know what's there. We have a name for it. We have the volcano name. We have the city name, like the capital. Here, we'll call it the capital. We have its like political hierarchy and like what it values. We have the a bit of culture and what the city looks like. We have a potential central tension within the city itself. And we have like a holiday and or like a cultural tradition. We have resources and we have a forest. The forest and like what's going on there and why it's dangerous. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to get out of today. Alright. Well, hell. Thank you all for coming today. I appreciate you all a ton. Hi Pigeon, hi. You just missed it. I'm just about to end stream. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm talking about this setting that I'm building. Fuck. Don't worry. I'll show you. That's the game screen. I need the window capture screen. This one. So this is the setting. Nice singer. Thank you. Credits are in the description. I really enjoyed working with Fatih, who was the person who did the stinger itself. The logo was done by Coco Soko. I don't know that they're still in the like doing logos. You might be able to ask if you need one. I don't know if we have a logo, Pigeon. Do you have a logo? But the logo was made by Coco Soko, who also was super neat. I do? Hell yeah. That's awesome. The stinger itself was like $50, I think. It was pretty cheap, honestly. All things considered for how good it is. At least it felt cheap. I have no idea what the price of stingers is. I have no idea. I did zero comparison. I was like, $50? I can go for $50. For this quality? Sure. You know, that was my thought process. I did zero research. But this is the setting, right? There's like 5 countries here. You have this one up here, this one in like the middle, this one over here, this one down here, and then this like island that's like separated by time is the only way I can describe it. Today we like dug into we got a lot of comments. We did all of this in one stream. This is the second. So we got to like this level in the first stream for all of them. And then today we like fleshed out one of the countries. Right? So like we did this in one stream and then we did the equivalent for all of the nations, right? We have this for one, we have this for another. Like this is like nothing. Right? And we have this for another one. But today we took this country up here and like decided like what this city is and like what the culture is and like what's this like desert that's like extending into the ocean, right? What's this forest here, you know? So this is what we decided. The coral forest is called the Thorns of the Sea. People call it colloquially the Thorns. It's like a coral forest, right? It's like the sea has receded and dried up, and now it's like a giant coral forest. Because there's an entity known as the Lurker, right? The Lurker is in this game system that I'm designing this for a game system that is not D&D. And one of the prime like pseudo deities, you know, like imagine if you're familiar with D&D, a warlock patron, right? The Lurker is a like a demigod type figure who is evil and associated with the ocean. In my setting, I think I'm gonna make them a siren that like calls people into this coral forest to like turn them into thralls, and is like amassing, I don't know, power. So I imagine that if you're like doing a campaign that involves the Thorns, it's like a psychological mega dungeon type thing where people like the party is going in to like solve the problem. Like, why are these people disappearing into this coral forest, right? While trying to not like succumb to like it's like a horror campaign almost. Like I imagine that like this would be its own campaign. And then we have this city and the associated volcano is a city. It's called Amoni, the capital of craft and creation. It is a city built in like the name of Dumazid. Dumazid's the god of creation, and like molten rock, literally. So Mount Vestafril is the name of the volcano, and people like Dumazid as a god is very mercurial, so he like makes his own creations and then destroys them because they're not good or not what he wants, right? And so this culture is all about like creating things, and then like as an offering of inspiration, they like each year on your birthday you toss your most prized creation. Like it's like you sacrifice an offering to the god of creativity by sacrificing your most prized creations. You throw it in the volcano and you're inspired for the rest of the year, right? So the place is very beautiful. It's well decorated. Like the city itself is like, the people here, they care about creating things. And so there's murals all over the walls. There's a lot of decorations. The place, like the buildings are all covered in art. And that kind of thing. Where do they get their rock? So like the buildings are all made of like stone, wood, and metal. They have metal buildings there because it's a place of forging. They get their rock from a nearby quarry called the Latomi Mines. And then there's the Meso Forest, where the people of this country deforest. They care more about creating things. They value creating more than preserving the wilderness. And so there's some tension with the forest. The forest creatures are more likely to attack civilians because they are deforesting the forest, right? So that's where we landed with like this quadrant of the continent, right? So the next time we do a world building stream, we'll pick another one of these areas, and base towards the animal and base not base towards the forest. Don't worry, Pigeon, I got you. As a pigeon, I expect you to be in favor of not deforestation. But we'll pick one of these other countries and do the same process, basically. Brief rundown on all these different countries. This one is like very politics heavy. I'm imagining like, because this is like peaceful. There's like grasslands. There's a ton of agriculture. So if we'll go down here, you can see it's like a very blessed civilization, very wealthy, and there's a lot of like, there's like a growing cult in the city that's like becoming powerful to because they care about money here, right? This is like, imagine a utopia that greed is starting to corrupt, right? Like that's the society here. Down here. So I imagine this, like any campaign that would be run here would be very politically focused. Any campaign run in this middle one is very combat focused, right? So obviously you have this giant canyon here called the Tear. The Tear is a tear in the world, but also it's like where like gods have fought, and now something bad is at the bottom, and it's like constantly releasing monsters that are trying to like escape, right? And so this country is like heavily war torn, constantly under monstrous threats. Civilization is going to be very like militaristic there, and that kind of thing. This country is going to be, I want this country to be like very classic. It's going to have like a monarchy. It's going to have, you know, a Robin Hood type-esque rebellion. That would be like the campaign that you run there. Is going to be like, your characters are leading a rebellion against the tyrannical king, right? Like that's the campaign that I would want to run here. And that's all I kind of know about this. So, and then the Time Island, this island down here, there was like, it used to be part of like a very magically focused society, before they stretched themselves too far and broke the continent by performing some huge ritual involving time magic. And so they like sped up their time, and so like the tectonic plate of this area shifted. And that's why it's like separated from the rest of the continent. And you can't easily get to this continent, like this island, because like it's literally displaced in time. Right? If you were to sail from one to the other, you would like be sailing at daytime and you would arrive at nighttime. Like it's like literally shifted on chrono tides. So we'll have to figure out what happens on each of these as we go. Got plenty more of these world building streams to figure out what the hell is going on in this continent. Thank you. Hi, Mega. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. You rock. I'm glad to have you, Mega. So, thank you. But that's the continent. We figured out what the hell is going on with Amoni. And that. Will you play the one shot that I helped make in this system? Maybe, probably. There's a very real chance that this would be that one shot would the one shot was designed to be built for any system. So yes, there's a very real chance that it would be played in this system. I don't know where that would be. It would probably take place on this continent because it's like about an old rampaging golem in a wizard tower. So it'll probably be like here, where magic has fucked up everything. So there's like a whole magic thing. I like that. We gotta figure out what this lake is about. There's got to be something in this lake. That's for another time. That's for another time. But we're going to call it a day today. We've got Halo 2 tomorrow. We just started playing as the Arbiter, which is fucking dope. I cannot express it any other way. Halo 2 has been an insane ride. I was not expecting any of it to happen the way it did. So, holy shit. Halo 2 is crazy. And I'm loving it. So, we got Halo 2 tomorrow. And then we got Nier Automata on Thursday. So, look forward to that. Halo, yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. Halo 2 was great. I thought Halo 1 was great, right? I thought Halo 1 was super good. I was like, how are they going to talk? Everyone was saying Halo 2 is better. Halo 2 is incredible. The world building with the Covenant is great. Like, it's wild. I'm a huge fan, so. Very much looking forward to seeing where I can put a ghost inside a building. Like I did with the ghost on top of the fucking scorpion walker thingy. I don't know what it was called. Yeah. But thank you all for coming. Thank you all for your help. And thank you all for helping me craft this setting. There's a lot of... I think there's a lot of good things to come from it. And I think there's a lot of... I can't wait to play in it. I hope that one day I can play run a campaign in this system, in this setting, so I can, show off, all the hard work that we've made to make it, you know? That would be a dream come true for me. So, but thank you all. I hope you all have a good rest of your evenings, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Halo 2. Nos vemos. Nos vemos. See. Have a good rest of your evening. Good night. Good night. Good night. Bye-bye.